What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new unboxing video. Today we are checking out the latest phone from UMIDIGI called the A1 Pro. So this phone is interesting because it's using the latest MediaTek CPU, the MTK6739. Now this is an entry-level CPU and it's also a quad-core CPU, but it's a new CPU from MediaTek. Aside from that, the phone comes with 3 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and we should have Android 8.1 right out of the box. And all that for about $120. And with that being said, let's get this box open and check out the phone. Alright, so we get a similar box to what we've seen in the past from other UMIDIGI devices. This comes off, and on the back here we can see some of the specifications. So you have a 5.5-inch screen with a 720p resolution. We have 2 cameras on the back and so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this box. Leave this here. We have the phone right here. It feels pretty small, and it kind of feels like an iPhone 10. In here we have the SIM card tray removal tool, and we also get a little user manual that nobody reads, and we also get a power adapter. And if I remove this plastic from the power adapter, so this is a fast charger as well. And aside from that, we have a USB-C cable, which is a great sign, and I don't see one of those adapters, so we may have, yeah, we actually have a 3.5mm audio jack. So the phone comes with a case. That's a great thing, because otherwise it would be close to impossible to find a case for it. On the back we have some plastic, which I'm gonna remove. Wow, look at that. You would never say that this phone costs about $120. So the back could be made out of glass. I can't say if it's glass or plastic. So we have the fingerprint scanner right there on the back. We have the flash, a couple of cameras. As I said before, one of those it's a 13 megapixel camera, the other one it's a 5 megapixel camera, and we also have a secondary microphone. The phone's frame seems to be made out of metal. On the right hand side we have the power button and the volume keys. At the top we have the SIM card tray, nothing on the left. And at the bottom we have the microphone. We also have the 3.5mm audio jack, which is a great thing to have, mostly for a budget phone. We have that USB-C port, and of course the speaker. On the front we get a screen protector, which I'm also gonna remove. And well, I don't think we get a notch, or do we? Anyways, on the front there, I believe we have a 5 megapixel camera or a 13 megapixel camera. I'll have to check the specs. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, because I'm very curious to see how the screen looks. So from the looks of it, we have very small bezels all around the screen. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and set this phone up. I'll run the Antutu benchmark and the Geekbench 4. I'll probably take a couple of pictures around the house here, and then I'll come back with the results so you can check out the screen, the cameras, and so on. Alright, so after about 45 minutes or so, I'm back. So first things first, the 5.5-inch screen. So we have very small bezels all around the screen, and that's great, mostly because this is a cheap phone. The forehead here and the chin aren't that big either, and the screen seems to get bright enough. Now, whenever you take the phone outside, it's not that bright, so you can use it comfortably, but it's bright enough for most situations. The viewing angles are also pretty good. Let me turn up the brightness, so you can see the phone no matter how you look at it. So once again, for a phone this cheap, a very good looking screen. The launcher looks great, and it looks very close to what you'd find on the Google Pixel, and it's also very fluid. Look at that. So I'm very happy to see that. And yeah, the launcher looks like an update over what they used to have in the past. I've also ran the Antutu benchmark and the Geekbench 4. Let me just find those. So on the Antutu benchmark we get a score of about 45,000, and this is a pretty good score, mostly considering that this is an entry-level CPU. But on the Geekbench 4 we only get a multi-core score of about 1700 and a single-core score of 660, so not the highest scores on the Geekbench 4. The phone doesn't come pre-installed with any useless apps. It only comes pre-installed with some Google apps, and most of the apps that you are seeing here are actually installed by me, but everything is very close to stock Android. I've also set up the fingerprint scanner. It's not the quickest out there. It works good, but it's definitely not the quickest out there. It takes like a second after you press it for the screen to come on, which is kind of normal for budget phones around this price range, but it could definitely be better. The camera app, what is the camera app? So this is the same stock camera app that we've seen for a lot of MediaTek devices in the past. I took a couple of selfies and you can see the selfies on the screen right now. Now, there are no selfies that I took in low light, but the ones that I took with plenty of light look decent enough for a 5 megapixel camera. As for the rear cameras, I took a couple of pictures to the bokeh effect. Well, it looks okay, it's not the best that I've seen, but definitely an improvement over what we've seen in the past. And if you just take pictures to the regular 13 megapixel camera on the back, those ones look okay as well. Now, of course, I have to take some more pictures in low light and so on, but for now and mostly for a budget phone, I think the pictures look okay. So there you have it, this is the UMIDIGI A1 Pro. I'm definitely gonna check out and see how good that CPU does with the battery. I believe we have a 3300 mAh battery, I'm not sure if I remember that right, but overall for the first impressions, the phone looks good for a phone that costs around $120. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.